"You're being reassigned, Clara." That's what he said. Not "I'm sorry." Not "we need to talk." Just reassigned. Mark. My best friend. My work husband for 5 years. He stood there, his new $3,000 suit looking smug, while the CTO handed me a cardboard box. A box. For my desk plants and my world's okayest coder mug. My entire 6-year career at Innovatech Dynamics reduced to a single flimsy piece of cardboard. I looked at him. He wouldn't meet my eyes. He just stared at the Project Zenith logo on the giant screen behind him. My logo. My project. My life. "This is a mistake, Mark," I whispered. My voice was shaking. He finally looked at me. His eyes were cold, empty. "The mistake, Clara, was thinking you could ever compete at this level. You're QA now. Go test the update." QA. Quality assurance. The coding equivalent of the mailroom. In the basement. A place with no windows, no sunlight, no hope. I built the entire architecture for Aura, my app. My dream that he was now calling Zenith. I wrote every single line of the biometric learning protocol. I spent sleepless nights fueled by stale coffee and vending machine snacks to make it perfect. And he just demoted me. He demoted me to checking for typos in legacy code. He turned his back on me to shake hands with the venture capitalists, the men from Ventura Capital Group, men who were about to sign a $50 million check based on my work. My work. He was accepting congratulations for my soul. He thought he'd won. He thought I was broken. He thought I was just some quiet coder girl he could push over and steal from. He thought I would just take my cardboard box and disappear into the basement. He didn't know I still had the admin password. He didn't know about the diagnostic listener I'd built into the OS. A tiny, invisible backdoor I coded into the brand new smart hub they just installed in his fancy corner office. A tool I built for debugging. A tool I never removed. He didn't know I was listening. He thought he was a visionary. He was about to learn he was just a thief. He was about to learn you never ever corner the person who built the house. Because she knows exactly where all the load-bearing walls are. And she knows exactly how to make it all come crashing down. It wasn't always like this. God, it wasn't. 5 years ago, Mark and I were nobodies. We were junior devs crammed into a bullpen at the old Innovatech campus in Austin. Our office was a sea of gray cubicles that smelled like burnt coffee and dust. We survived on impossible deadlines, $7 footlongs, and the shared dream of making it big. He was the charming one. The fast talker. The guy who could sell ice to an Eskimo. I was the builder. The coder. The architect. He'd dream it. I'd build it. We were the perfect team. I remember the all-nighter for the Trilogy account. The servers crashed at 2 a.m. Mark ran out and came back with 3 Red Bulls and a bag of tacos. We sat on the floor surrounded by empty cans and scribbled on a whiteboard until sunrise. We fixed it. We saved the account. He presented our solution to the execs while I fixed the last few bugs. They gave him the bonus. He split it with me in cash under the table. "We're gonna own this place one day, Clara," he'd say, slinging his arm around me. "Just you and me. The dynamic duo. You build the rockets and I'll fly 'em." I believed him. I really did. He wasn't just a colleague. He was family. He was there when my mom got sick. Drove me to the hospital. I helped him move into his flashy downtown condo. We spent Thanksgivings together when we couldn't afford flights home. He knew all my secrets. I knew all his. Or so I thought. Then came Aura. It was my baby. Born from my own struggles with anxiety and burnout. It wasn't just another productivity app. Another checklist. Aura was revolutionary. It was an intuitive AI companion. It learned your biometric rhythms through your smartwatch and your phone. It knew when to push you, when to tell you to breathe, when to schedule a 5-minute break before you even knew you needed one. It was designed to manage mental wellness in high-stress environments. It was the solution to the very burnout culture that was killing us. I showed Mark the prototype over cheap takeout one night. I was nervous. My hands were shaking. He played with it for 10 minutes. Just silence. Then he looked up, his eyes lit up in a way I'd never seen before. A hunger I mistook for excitement. "Clara. This is it. This is the one. This isn't just a feature. This is a whole new company." He said we should pitch it together. Use his sales skills and my tech. but he suggested we keep it off book from Innovatic. We don't want the suits getting their hands on it yet, he said. They'll dilute the vision. They'll ruin it. Let's build it in secret. Perfect it. Then we present it as a finished product. They'll have to make us partners. It made sense. So I agreed. Stupid. So stupid. So naive. We worked for 6 months. At least I did. I coded day and night, sleeping on the office sofa. I lived on energy drinks and microwave burritos. I refined the protocol. I optimized the code. I built the entire UI from scratch. He took meetings. He said he was building buzz, gauging interest. He told me he was lining up angel investors for our standalone company. He said he was protecting my genius from the corporate hacks. What he was really doing was building his narrative. He was systematically cutting me out. He started having closed-door meetings with our CTO. He started name-dropping his influential mother, Evelyn Hayes. He'd always downplayed that connection. She and I don't see eye to eye, he'd shrug. She's old money board of directors types. I'm a disruptor. Another lie. Evelyn Hayes wasn't just an investor. She was the chairwoman of the board of Innovatec. She was the one who held the real power. Mark was just her spoiled son who'd been failing upwards his whole life. The day before the demotion, he told me we were finally ready. Our big day, he smiled. We're presenting to the board tomorrow. Get some rest. You've earned it. He hugged me. He told me our lives were about to change. He wasn't wrong. I walked into that meeting room the next morning. My app was on the screen, but it wasn't called Aura. It was Project Zenith, and Mark was listed as the sole creator, the sole visionary. That's when the CTO stopped me. Clara, what are you doing here? This is a high-level strategy session. I looked at Mark. He just smirked. A cold, empty smirk. That's when he told the CTO. Oh, Clara. She's actually being reassigned. Effective immediately. That's when they handed me the box. The next 2 weeks were hell. A special kind of hell designed just for me. He didn't just move me to QA. He moved me to the basement. Sublevel 1. A concrete tomb with flickering fluorescent lights and a constant server hum that drills into your skull. My new desk was a folding table next to the air conditioning unit. It was so cold I had to wear my coat all day. My job was to run diagnostic scripts on legacy code from 10 years ago. Code so old. It still had Y2K comments in it. It was mind-numbing, soul-crushing work. It was a message. A message from Mark. You are nothing. You are replaceable. You are in the basement where you belong. Meanwhile, he was the new golden boy. He got the corner office. The one with the floor-to-ceiling glass walls. The one I used to dream about. He got the fawning articles in the Austin Tech Insider. Innovatec's new visionary. The man behind Project Zenith. I saw him. He'd walk past the basement stairwell with the VCG partners. He'd laugh that booming laugh of his. Sometimes he'd pause and look down into the pit. He knew I was watching. He wouldn't smile. He'd just look. That pitying look. That shame you couldn't keep up. Look. It was worse than any insult. It was him enjoying his victory. He even sent me an email. An official company email. Clara just wanted to make sure you're settling in okay. The QA team is the backbone of this company. Your work on the 2008 printer driver update is crucial to our success. Keep up the good work. He was mocking me. He was twisting the knife and documenting it for HR. He was building a paper trail to prove I was just a low-level tester. That I was never capable of creating something like Aura. That I was exactly where I was supposed to be. The rage in my chest burned so hot I thought it would choke me. I went into the stairwell. The one place with no cameras. I didn't cry. I was done crying. I punched the concrete wall until my knuckles bled. Then I dried my eyes. Crying was done. Fighting was done. It was time to work. I went back to my folding table. My knuckles throbbed with every keystroke. I logged into the system. Mark was a salesman. He wasn't a coder. Not really. He knew how to talk tech, but he didn't know how to secure it. He had taken my Aura code, but he didn't understand its architecture. He was like a kid who stole a fighter jet but only knew how to honk the horn. He didn't know about the developer-level listener protocol I'd built into the OS. It was a diagnostic tool, meant to be stripped out before launch. A tool for monitoring system health and microphone input for voice commands. It was my digital fingerprint left all over my own creation. I checked the system logs from my basement terminal. He never stripped it. He didn't even know it was there. His entire office, his new high-end computer, his phone, the new smart hub the board had gifted him, it was all networked. It was all running on my code. And I still had the root key. That night I didn't go home. I stayed in my concrete box. The hum of the servers was my soundtrack. I wrote a new script. A simple one. Elegant. It wouldn't steal data. It wouldn't crash the system. It would just do one thing. It would take the audio feed from the microphone on his smart hub and patch it directly. Not to me. Not to a recording device. It would patch it directly into the main audiovisual system of the boardroom. Conference Room 1. The conference room where he was scheduled to sign the final $50 million deal with Ventura Capital Group. The conference room where his mother Evelyn Hayes would be presiding. The script was set. It would be triggered by a single keyword. A keyword I knew he'd use. Aura. He was too arrogant not to. Too proud of his genius. All I needed was for him to say the words. Mark was arrogant. And arrogant men love to brag. I just had to wait for the right moment. I was a QA tester now. It was my job to find bugs. And I'd just found a big one. The day of the signing, the entire office was buzzing. This was the biggest deal in Innovatech history. There were balloons, champagne bottles on ice. The VCG partners were flying in just for this. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was celebrating the golden boy Mark. I was supposed to be running diagnostics on a printer driver from the Bush administration. Instead, I was logged into the server room terminal. A small dusty room right next to the air conditioner I'd been freezing next to for 2 weeks. My terminal was open. My script was loaded. My finger hovered over the enter key. I had audio only from his office hub. He was getting ready. I could hear him whistling. Whistling. My blood ran cold. He was whistling the tune to a song we used to love. Our song, he called it. The Audacity. Then I heard the door open. A different sound. Not his usual swagger. Mark Darling. Evelyn Hayes. His mother. Her voice was sharp, like glass. Mother. You're early. His voice was tight. The VCG partners aren't here for another 20 minutes. I know. I wanted a private word. I heard the door click shut. You look nervous, son. For a man about to close a $50 million deal. Confident mother. Just confident. Zenith is my baby. I'm proud. Is it, she asked? Silence. Just the faint hum of the hub. What is that supposed to mean? Mark's voice lost its swagger. I mean Clara. I saw her in the basement. She looks broken. It's a bad look, Mark. Demoting your best friend, the moment you get a promotion. Mark laughed. A short, ugly sound. Broken good. That's where she belongs. She's a glorified typist, Mother, you know that. She was never at my level. She was holding me back. She was loyal to you, Mark. She worked nights and weekends for you for 5 years. Loyalty is for dogs and secretaries. Mother. Not for visionaries. I'm the visionary. I'm the one who sees the big picture. Clara just draws the lines. My hand was shaking. But his mother wasn't done. The code for Zenith. I had our internal auditors run a check. A deep dive. It's identical to a proposal Clara submitted 6 months ago. A project called Aura. My heart stopped. He said the word. My script flashed. Keyword detected. Do you want to execute y divided by n? Not yet. Not yet. This was getting too good. You had her audited. Mark's voice was rising. I audit everything Evelyn said. It's my money. Her proposal was for Aura. Your proposal is for Zenith. But it's the same app, Mark. You stole it. So what? He shouted it. So what if I took it? She's weak. She'd still be in a cubicle playing with spreadsheets if it wasn't for me. I took her little art project and I made it profitable. I'm the one who pitched VCG. I'm the one who got you. On board. You lied to me. I managed you, Mother. I managed everyone. That's what a good CEO does. Clara was just the mule. She just carried the code. I carried the vision. She was your friend. She was collateral damage. I took her stupid little dream and I built an empire. And in 10 minutes, Ventura Capital is going to make us kings. I hit ye. I hit enter. Script initiated. Audio bridge active. Routing feed to conference room 1. In the main conference room, the giant 80-inch presentation screen flickered. The Project Zenith logo was replaced by a simple gray box. Audio feed active M. Hayes, exec office. The VCG partners were just sitting down. Mr. Arisaka, the lead partner. The CTO was pouring water. And suddenly Mark's voice boomed through the speakers. You think I care about loyalty? Everyone froze. The CTO fumbled his phone trying to shut it down. But Evelyn Hayes. She was already in the room. She just held up a hand. Leave it. In his office, Mark was oblivious. He was pacing. Ranting. I built this mother me, I saw the opportunity. She was just the mule, she just carried the code. In the conference room, the lead partner from VCG, Mr. Arisaka, just slowly closed his leather binder. He looked at Evelyn. He looked at the speakers. So, what if I took it? Mark's voice echoed. She's weak. She'd still be in a cubicle. I took her little art project and I made it profitable, Mr. Arisaka just shook his head. She was too weak to see it through. Mark shouted. I am strong. I did what needed to be done. She was just collateral damage. I took her stupid little dream and I built an empire. The conference room was dead silent. Evelyn Hayes stared at the speakerphone on the table. Her face was white. She pressed the talk button. Mark. I could hear the feedback squeal from my terminal. In his office, he must have jumped. Mother what? What's that sound? Are you in the boardroom? Yes, Mark. Her voice was ice. We all are. The VCG partners. The entire board. We're all listening. A pause. A long dead silence. I heard a muffled sound. Like him dropping his phone. We heard it all, Evelyn continued. The vision. The mule. The collateral damage. Then I heard a crash. Like a desk lamp being thrown against the wall. You. He whispered into his hub's microphone. You. Clara. I just typed one last command. System mute. And I leaned back in my chair in the basement. Security was outside his office in seconds. I heard the shouting. The accusations. The sound of furniture being thrown. You can't do this to me. I'm her son. I built this company, you can't fire me. You don't work for me anymore. Mark Evelyn's voice was cold over the speaker. You work for the board. And the board is firing you. For cause. I logged out of the server room terminal. I walked back to my folding table. I calmly packed my mug and my sad little desk plant into the cardboard box. The same box they gave me 2 weeks ago. I walked out of the basement. I went up the stairs. I walked past the shocked faces in the bullpen. Everyone was frozen, staring at me as I walked. The news had spread like wildfire. I walked right into the main conference room. It was perfect timing. Mark was being escorted out by 2 large security guards. His $3,000 suit was rumpled. His face was purple with rage. When he saw me, he lunged. He actually lunged. You psycho, you ruined me. You'll never work in this town again. The guards hauled him back. He looked pathetic. A grown man throwing a tantrum. I didn't say a word. I didn't flinch. I just watched him get dragged away. I just watched my best friend disappear down the hall. The room was silent. The VCG partners looked at me. The CTO looked at the floor. Evelyn Hayes just pointed to the head of the table. The one Mark was supposed to sit in. Sit down. Miss. Clara. Is it Clara? I said. My voice was hoarse. I sat. The lead partner, Mr. 5. Arisaka pushed his binder across the table. So, Aura. That's the real name. Yes, sir. And you built the architecture, the biometric learning protocol, from scratch. He smiled. A small, tight smile. We knew Project Zenith was too good for that preening idiot. He couldn't answer a single deep-level technical question. He kept saying it was proprietary and under wraps. He's a terrible liar. He tapped the binder. The deal on the table was for $50 million, based on your work. I nodded. That deal is dead, he said. My stomach dropped. Oh God. Did I just cost the company $50 million? Because he continued leaning in, we're not interested in Project Zenith. We are interested in Aura. And we are interested in its actual creator. We'd like to offer a new deal. $75 million. For a majority stake, with you leading the project as a standalone company. I couldn't breathe. $75 million. Evelyn Hayes spoke. Innovatech will be pursuing criminal charges against Mark for fraud and intellectual property theft. As chairwoman, I am terminating his employment and all his unvested stock options effective immediately. She looked at me. Her eyes were sharp, but not unkind. And as for you, Clara, that was quite the display. You violated at least a dozen company protocols. You hacked our internal network. I met her gaze. Yes, ma'am. I did. Good, she said. That's the kind of initiative I've been looking for. We can't have a CTO who doesn't know how to find a backdoor. She slid a different folder toward me. A thick one. Mr. Arasaka's offer is excellent, but Innovatic would like to make a counter-offer. We will fund Aura as an independent subsidiary. You will be CEO. We will match Ventura's $75 million valuation. And we are offering you Mark's position, Chief Technology Officer of the parent company. Full ownership rights to the Aura patent, and a 10% raise on his salary, which I assure you was disgustingly high. I looked at the two offers on the table. I looked at Mr. Arisaka. I looked at Evelyn Hayes. I looked at the cardboard box in my hands. I slowly pushed the box aside. When do I start? It's been 6 months. I'm sitting in the corner office, the one with the floor-to-ceiling glass walls. I can see all of Austin from up here. It turns out, the view is even better than I dreamed. I had them remove the smart hub. I prefer silence. Aura launched last month. We took Evelyn's offer. Innovatech funded us, and I became CTO. It didn't make $75 million. It made $100 million. In its first quarter. The press is calling it the mental wellness revolution. Ventura Capital Group ended up co-investing with Innovatech in our series around. Mr. Arasaka sends me funny emails every Friday. I'm the youngest CTO in Innovatech history. I hired a new QA team. A brilliant team of 5. I pay them double what I was making. And their office is on the top floor right next to mine. They have the best windows in the building. Mark. I heard he's facing 2 separate lawsuits. The one from the company and a class action from the early investors he lied to. He's broke. His mother hasn't spoken to him since that day. He's blacklisted from the entire Austin tech scene. Last I heard, he was selling used cars at a dealership in Killeen. Evelyn and I have lunch every Tuesday. She's tough. She's fair. And she hates incompetence and liars. Turns out we have a lot in common. You should have come to me sooner, she said last week. I was trying to be loyal, I told her. Loyalty is a virtue, Clara, she said, sipping her tea. But blind loyalty is a liability. Never confuse the two. Sometimes I walk down to the basement. Sub-level 1. I look at the empty folding table next to the air conditioning unit. I had it left there. As a reminder, they thought they could bury me. They thought I was just a mule, just a typist, just collateral damage. Mark made one critical error. A fatal one. He was a salesman playing a coder's game. He forgot that the person who builds the house knows where all the wires are hidden. He forgot that the person who writes the code holds the keys to the entire kingdom. He thought he stole my dream, but he just gave me a much, much better one. I rebuilt my life from the ashes of his betrayal. I learned that my kindness isn't a weakness, but my skill is my armor, and my code is my sword. I'm not the world's okayest coder anymore. I'm the woman who runs the whole damn company. Have you ever realized that the absolute worst thing that ever happened to you, that rock-bottom moment of betrayal, was actually the very thing that unlocked your true power and set you free? Let me know in the comments if you agree that the best revenge isn't sinking to their level. It's building your empire so high they can't even touch you.